hate and love at the same time. We'll see how this one is played. But
yeah. Okay, so I think following up on what the panel said, right, do you agree that it kind of feels like the same game again, potentially? Like it looks very similar. Winter Bear have this lineup that has a lot of stunts and a lot of skirmish in it, but the scaling potential is a little bit uncertain with the carry Nature's Prophet. On the other side, instead of a Medusa this time, it's the Tiny, who's also really, really strong in this game. I was wondering if what Winter Bear was going to do here was actually to play the Earth Spirit in the safe lane with Nature's Prophet and just play Sand King Sand King mid and then Grim Legion bot, if that was a potential way of going about this, or they could put Legion Commander mid against Timber and then play Sand King Grim bot as well. I think Legion actually does okay-ish against Timber in the mid lane. Press the attack can remove the strength that you, or regain your strength basically, that you lose from Whirling Death. But doesn't seem to be the case. They're just going to run it back with the same lanes, more or less.
I mean, it's always risky to have a position one that is not a traditional one, right? I mean, we saw how powerful Nature's Prophet can be late game. I mean, I think the one big difference here is you had the Sand King mid last game, which was like the main initiator for Winter Bear, where now you have Earth Spirit. It's like a constant, very low cooldown initiation. You have Inkswell that's good on 3 heroes. Once Legion gets that blink, you have 3 heroes that can make very good use of that. So I expect a little bit higher tempo at because it felt like it was maybe 15, 20 minutes before they started ramping things up. Whereas now I think they can probably get things started a little bit earlier.
Potentially, but at the same time, I still do feel like largely the Sand King Dagger is going to be the primary factor in being able to find reliable engagements. And he's likely to find a similar fate in the mid lane to begin with here. Mobe will be pulling ahead, and then Sand King will get what he can, and then he'll do some jungle stacks and be about 500 net worth behind minute 10, which isn't tragic. It's okay. But I do think perhaps you could have solved this a little bit better. At least you definitely shouldn't be surprised, right? You know the matchup. You know that this team literally just ran this strategy against you, so nice CSing there from Pistol under the tower at least, gets 5. But yeah, as far as Ivy goes, I think this time around they actually, I think with that one replacement and swapping in the Tiny for Medusa, I actually think in many ways their lineup is stronger. Now they have a secondary way of starting fights with a stun from Tiny. They have a really, really significant amount of tower damage once he gets the shard, which he will probably just grab minute 15 like everybody does in this patch when they're playing core Tiny.
Yep.
So, and also let's just think about the fact that Tiny got 10th picked. Like, to me, that's kind of crazy that these teams don't rate that hero higher than that. Is a very contested and popular hero right now.
It's all about those shards at 15. I mean, we're seeing shards from, I want to say 60+%. I actually love to see a stat on this, like what the percentage of heroes that get shard in a game of Dota these days is. It's got to be over 50%, I feel like. Especially with how strong they are, not even just the timing.
It is definitely pretty high, and I think that's a good thing too. Like, it means that, because one of the problems in the past we had with Shard was that too many of them just weren't good enough. The fact that you push them up to 15 minutes makes some of them more appealing that weren't before, but a lot of them have also just flat out been buffed or reworked, made more interesting. I still think there's a couple of handfuls of shards that are just almost never worth it, which is what you don't want to see. You want them to at least be situationally good, but some of them are just like the upsides are just very minor. I'm sure we'll get there. At least their trajectory currently is to get many more.
In the past patch, the Legion shard was a must-get. Now it's completely different. I don't think I've seen it yet, actually. It sounds kind of weird.
Yeah, it's not very popular, at least. It can be really good in the right situations, though. I think that, to me, is one of the ones that's situationally good, at least, which I don't mind. I would like them to... this is a tough ask, right? But ideally, you would perhaps want the shards to be situationally good, but not must-buy.
Right, like Tiny Shard.
Yeah, Tiny Shard just feels like a must-buy, at least on carry, right? I guess you could argue it's situational, because if you're not carry, you don't buy it, but then, you know, maybe that's a little bit of a stretch.
No. I mean, back to the game, though. Ivy is already at a pretty substantial lead. It's
yeah, they're getting so much
3 minutes, 50 seconds. They have the top 3 CSers in the game. It's already a 1,000 lead. And it's kind of scary when you're playing a very early game-centric lineup, a very mobility-based. Obviously, you talked about the dagger being really important for Sanky.
Oh, if Cube would have hit that, he would have died.
Phantasma, Fairy Fire popped.
Would that have been enough with another spirit? I'm not sure. Probably not.
It's a level
No, it would.
2.
Would have been close, though. Yeah, I think this is one of the melee heroes. Like, when it comes to Legion Commander, she generally does very well against melee heroes in lane. I don't know how you beat Tiny unless if your 4 is really strong in this lane. Like, Tiny can just trade with you. He has really high base damage. He will get a lot of denies in CS and just beat you on gold in the lane, get shreds faster than you, and then he can just lay into you. And he's also laning with an Enchantress, and the other player is an Earth Spirit. Like, Earth Spirit level 1 and 2, relatively weak lane support, really generally wants to play with a 3 that can do the damage in the lane. And Legion, it just isn't it, right? You just run away. Or the Ench comes in and bullies you with a creep. So it is tough, and that is obviously going to result in a great lead for Ivy early on. All 3 lanes are victories currently. Literally every hero is ahead of their counterpart in the enemy team.
Yep. And it doesn't feel like that's going to change. I mean, is it too late to do any lane changes? How do they fix this issue? Because right now, mid lane, I mean, you could talk about the itemization that's needed before they can actually ramp things up. You said Blink Dagger mid, as we see a tomato, thank you. Blink Dagger on Legion, right? Those are the 2 big initiation items. But that's going to be pretty far away, especially for the Legion.
Yeah, I think you try to find some opportunities with Nature's Prophet level 6. Perhaps your Earth Spirit plus Grimstroke could combine for some sort of meaningful kill. I don't think the mid lane is even possible almost for them. They would need Epicenter. They would need to use literally all of their spells.
Great layering
perfectly.
Here. That's going to be first blood for Ivy. I mean, that took pretty much everything. Avatos, Enchant to take off, or to debuff Mrs. Legion Commander, excuse me.
Yep.
Or it's Miss, probably. Yeah.
What do you mean probably? That's...
Well, Mrs. and Miss are 2 different things, right?
Yeah,
Mrs.
but why did you say probably?
She's alone.
Okay. Good. I was just wondering.
Is alone. I mean, she's not going to be too popular in the lore. She kills the original Legion Commander.
It's true. She doesn't trust anyone, right? Her voice lines are always never trust, and then it's like literally anything in the game.
Yeah.
So
it's understandable.
It's quite it's one of the pillars of marriage is trust. So I think if she doesn't trust anyone, she's probably unlikely to become Mrs. That's a fair point. Pastel?
That's part of the lore. That is canon for sure. Now, do you think the itemization for Timbersaw is going to be any different this game, or is this just like a... It feels like when you're Timber and you're playing against melee heroes, just in a solo lane even, you're just going to win. You're just going to do whatever the hell you want.
There's very few matchups that you're not...
And they don't really have a lineup to kill this hero. It still feels like the biggest issue of their lineup.
That was the thing I was looking at was, okay, well, if you want to break your lanes with Earth Spirit and Grimstroke and go do something, where do you gank? You're pretty unlikely to kill the Tiny until Legion's level 6. You're not going to kill this Timbersaw mid, even if you bring all those 3 heroes. I don't know if it's enough to really do it unless you have like perfect layering and catch him in a weak moment. And top, probably your best bet would be Mars. I think that was the lane they could kill, but wouldn't be a hugely impactful kill for progressing the game state. He already won his lane. He's already happy.
Yeah.
I do find
Cube kick in the face for the Phoenix. So 2nd kill of the game. First for Winter Bear. As Roshan tried to snipe it for himself, but it wasn't to be. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out this lineup for Winter Bear, and we'll see what ends up happening once these items come online. But the question is, will they be too far behind at that point?
I want to see them... The thing I praised them for in game number 1 is that I felt like they had really good communication between their players with spellcasting. I think they should make some cool moves where they utilize their Nature's Prophet safe lane to find kills with the other heroes in the bottom lane, for example. Pistol will be okay here.
Yep, Phantom's Embrace, of course, very good against Timbersaw. Does not want to hit it.
Oh dear.
This takes a tumble. Phantasma looks to be next. Double kill for Vincento on the Enchantress.
This is ugly.
It is starting to get out of control in favor of Ivy, no doubt about it.
They have to hold this tower. Pastil is going to do his best and will probably be successful for now, but the damage starts coming in. Okay, nice dodge.
Depends on what success looks like in your book, Cinder.
Okay.
Finds Enchantress. It's a good start. TPs came in as well as Timbersaw. All right, facing the wrath of reality.
And the reality is that he's not dying because it's not taking damage from him. Oh, okay.
Never mind. It gives vision. The kick. And no follow-up. Good attempt, but
yeah,
it is a really hard hero to kill for their lineup especially.
Sanking's top net worth, though. Pastel with that kill on the Enchantress will pull ahead of Tiny. So doing a pretty good job.
The creeps. Oh my goodness. Actually stayed around too long because of the avalanche now. And this is going to lead to a kill for Ivy yet again. The tree toss is there. He was, I think his phase boots were on cooldown and he was stuck in those creeps.
That's really unfortunate. I would like to see, okay, so what I think you do now is you bring Legion bot, you skill duel on level 7 here, and try to make a smoke play with Earth plus Grim and then a potential Fury on TP so that you can find a key kill bot and open up that tower.
So he got
knocked in
by the creeps.
Oh my god, that's just...
That is actually unreal. Oh, the creeps.
And the people that have designed these neutral positions, they're clapping in their hands. This is what I was hoping for when I made this.
Misery is what they're hoping for. Yeah, it's kind of the point where at least you're aware now what most of them do. Because nobody read those patch notes. That's
Chaw was hoping to get a duel there on Tiny, so they were looking for that play, but got avalanche.
Zag. All right, he'll be able to roll out. Looks like he's fine. Picking away slowly, but the tier 1 tower, it might have to be given up now.
Winter Baron really needs to get something done here. Like, I think they're just getting exploited right now.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness, that is okay. That was surprising.
Yep, definite rough start here for Winter Bear, but Ivy, give them credit. They're taking advantage of the openings that the opponent is giving them, Cinder. I mean, talk to me about this, though. This is 2 games in a row. We've seen this exact same mid matchup, Sand King versus Timbersaw. Just, like, in a vacuum, Sand King mid, does that give you as much value as a Timbersaw mid?
I definitely think...
much longer cooldowns. We're going to see the
they're
first
finally
going
to make that move bot now.
Not enough damage to kill him during the duel. And Timbersaw is just going to live through this very easily. Toss is there, and that's another kill onto the Earth Spirit. And it looks like Kachal is going to drop to this Timber Chain. And that is a big yikes.
It's the right idea, but it's too late and it's the wrong target, right? Like, this gank needed to connect on Tiny earlier when he was farming in the lane. The Timber is way too tanky with a hood. They can't kill him. But if they make this rotation 3 minutes earlier, it connects on the Tiny with Nature's Prophet level 6 teleport. They kill Tiny and they get the tower and they get a duel win. And then they can start, you know, opening up their game plan. But like this almost felt forced. It's like, okay, guys, we have to do something. All right, it's Timber. Let's go. Like, that wasn't even close. He was half HP. When the duel ended. They did not nearly have enough in the tank. Good arena here.
Yeah, Reality stuck inside, gets pinned, and here comes Tiny to finish things off. Gets it with the avalanche, nothing more needed.
To answer your mid-Sand King question, Sand King and Timber, I think it really depends how you build your lineups around it. I think mid-Sand King can actually be super high impact. But in both of these games...
I guess my point is, like, it's a different kind of impact.
Yes.
Right?
They do very different things. Like, Timbersaw will frontline, and he will go and pressure towers, and he will be, like, this... just a tank that you need to deal with sometimes around the map or in fights. Sand King is a very, very low cooldown, super useful initiator that has a lot of magic teamfight damage. But as a mid-hero, his damage is not reliable in the same way Timber is. Like, you have this one burst, right? So mid-Sand King, I think, should generally be paired with high damage cores on the side lanes so that they can compensate for his weakness. And I just don't think Nature's Prophet and Legion Commander is it, right? You would ideally want something like your safe lane to be a true carry like Terrorblade or, you know, something along those lines so that when you do hit your Burrow Strike, you know somebody is going to deal damage for 2 heroes almost, because that's what they need to do.
Right.
So, not that your damage is insignificant. You have Sandstorm, but, you know, it falls off.
I can see Winter Bear
finally opening the tower here.
Yeah, playing very cautious to start out, but they will find it. And Reality gets credit for that one. Is he building differently this game is the question. So Maelstrom,
BKB.
BKB, looks like he has Scotty lined up. Do you actually not finish Mjolnir in this game?
Not sure. I feel like he's caught in this awkward position, right? This time the lanes did not go nearly as well as last game, and he needs to protect himself so he's able to deal damage, but how meaningful is his damage as a 1 Nature's Prophet if he goes Maelstrom into BKB? Like, is it going to be enough to kill these heroes with the teams he has? If he goes Mjolnir, he has the damage, but then he gets killed by Tiny.
Yeah.
He just gets soloed, right? So,
well, speaking of Tiny,
really
we're getting close to the 15-minute mark, Cinder.
Yep. Look what he has in Quick Buy.
Yep, he has Echo Saber, will be finishing the Shadow Blade, and Shard will be actually, he probably gets the Shard before.
Depends how the next minute goes.
We'll see. Let's make some bets.
I think he'll
Very
finish Shadow Blade and just get the shard minute 16
just
or 17.
the fact that it's just one component away makes sense. So 6K lead here for Ivy, and they are not slowing down anytime soon, by the looks of it at least. But on the other side, Winter Bear, how close are we? So Blink Dagger, Boots of Travel on the Sand King, Mr. Pastel. We'll be starting his BKB next. Already talked about Nature's Prophet, and then Kachal on the Legion. He has his Blink Dagger in 10 gold, so that's probably what they're waiting for to try to get the first duel victory of the game.
My question is, how do you initiate the fight as
Who do you go on?
As Dire? You don't really go on Timber. Tiny is also going to be a really tough kill with Sunray and Arena behind. And if essentially your Sand King and Legion and Earth Spirit are all kind of playing the same role in the game to an extent.
Oh, Epicenter Burrow. This would be a big kill with the Inkswell on top. Right. That is a perma-stun and kill on Mars.
He can die. It's kind of scary when you see how long it takes him to kill the Mars there. If that's Timber, he doesn't die. And that was, what was that? Epi? That was Epi, Full Sandstorm, Burrow Strike, Inkswell, and Earth Spirit connecting. And Timber would have been half health, if even, because he has a hood. So it is something though for Winter Bear. I think you have to, keep trying to find picks around the map. Maybe see if you can find an opportunity to get this mid-tier 1 tower. Nature's Prophet's close to claiming that.
Yeah, this will be a huge kill for Ivy if they can get the reality, but they're going to lose the egg instead. And now the Timber on the run. Can they kill him? They can silence him very easily. Finally use the Chakram. There's the duel. Certainly won't kill him inside the duel. And he has basically not lost any HP. Gets off the Chakram. And here comes the Arena save. Timbersaw still alive. That is a Timbersaw player's face right there. You can tell. Zero emotion. Because you have to be a literal psychopath to play this hero. So, into the Roche Pit. We see that Tiny has the shard. Yeah, he went for the shard instead of the Shadow Blade, so the Shadow Blade will be coming next. And he's going to get himself a freebie Aegis. It's kind of slow, though. Oh. And Winter Bear are in the area. They could try to contest this. It's really close.
They are too late.
Yes, indeed. Aegis now in tow. There's like 5-second differential there. Ochal. There's the duel. That should be the first victory for him. Down goes the Enchantress. This does feel like one of those games where Legion, you really want to get the duel damage early. And this doesn't feel early enough. You want to start that snowball. So 7K lead for Ivy. So with this Aegis, what's the plan?
Top tier 2 for sure.
So outer towers, mostly?
Yeah, you want to get top tier 2 and get that outpost, and then you can try to potentially go for a cross smoke and see if you can find a fight in the enemy triangle. Like with this Aegis on Tiny, you're so safe for one fight. Like it's a very difficult fight for the Dire to take. They're fighting into a really strong team fight. Tiny can set up himself for success with this Shadow Blade. He can just find a pick to begin the move. And yeah, if they do go for the Tiny Aegis to try to kill him once, they're going to get wiped for that. So it's really difficult for Winter Bear, and that means I think you just take a lot of initiative here as low skill on this Tiny top tier 2 tower, and then next objective up to you. Like if you want to go and hit mid, I think you could just go and hit mid, but you could also try to invade triangle, maybe find a kill on Nature's Prophet there, and just keep controlling the map entirely.
Yep, and still 3.5.
This is a different story for Nature's Prophet as well than last game, right? Because in the last game, Reality was actually split pushing a quite significant amount on that Nature's Prophet. He needs to be terrified of Tiny being off map in this game. He can just get soloed by him, unlike the Medusa last time.
Yeah, they're trying to find Max. You can see the TP coming in with the Sand King with a boost of travel. There's the duel.
Oh, that was some good Fire Spirit.
Follow, but here comes the TP support. Duel victory is not there, and instead it's going to be turned around completely. 3 dead in the blink of an eye. In favor of Ivy. Phantasma. Oh. Avalanche looked like it should have connected, but might have just been our angle here as Reality.
Ench forcing out a BKB on Nature's Prophet on her own.
Yeah, that feels bad.
Running away.
Yeah, this is a rough one.
Yeah. It looks like a man who's happy to force a BKB and have another sip of tea out of the world's smallest cup so that he has to pour it 20 times
What is the point of
to have the equivalent of one regular cup.
So when they say you need to drink 8 to 12 glasses of water a day, how many cups is that? It's like 45, 50 cups.
100.
It's like one of those things a clown would drink.
I feel like there's some sort of, how to say, there's probably either some sort of like mantra or some sort of like genre thing with tea enjoyers here that I don't get, but people that watch, there are people that watch this that are like, this guy knows exactly what's up, and I just don't know. I just don't get it. Okay,
You just need to understand the meta.
It's just not something I grew up with. We generally drank out of glasses or cups, not out of little
Toilet.
bowls for soy sauce.
Okay.
But to each their own. That is a kill on Phantasma for Tiny. You're only going to imagine more of these are going to come his way if he starts playing more and more offensively with his items. Still ages 1.5 minutes. There's the Silver Edge.
Still the tier 2 is up though. Ooh! Pastel! Oh, he has to cancel his own TP, and that'll cost him his life.
Bow to your leash just doesn't sound as good when you die 2 seconds later.
Yeah. It was a good attempt. Very close. And we're going to see the
I was sure
replay.
this was going to be him drinking again. All right.
Look at this. Look at that. Beautiful.
Good blink, but
And sadly, the spear was still up.
Mars does have another TP cancel. That's the one. I feel like that one should have played when he missed. That was a clean. Oh, actually, he did miss.
He did miss, technically.
He did miss,
but
true.
It was a good miss.
It was a good.
case.
It was a TP cancel. It wasn't just a total whiff.
Yeah. All right, the tier 2 tower. They're starting to group up. I mean, 3 members of Winter Bear are dead at the moment, but doesn't look like they're going to do too much with this Aegis Cinder. It's a little surprising. But Tiny, obviously, farming to his heart's content. Far and away the top farmer of the game. Has the Silver Edge. And we'll be going for the BKB next.
Yep. Tried and true. Very standard. This is an insane BKB game like the panel talked about. For Winter Bear, you're going to struggle to pierce through a Tiny with that. Obviously, he's already going to have the 20 bonus armor from Grow, so getting that BKB, the physical damage just isn't there. I think if he BKBs and all 5 enemy heroes try to kill him, they will fail in a duel. They just can't get him down. And it is a little bit like a broken record, right? We talked about in Game 1 as well, like these tanky heroes that the Dire team just can't deal with, but again, they can't really be surprised. It's been very telegraphed in the draft. It's been very transparent based on Game 1, and their adjustments just haven't really borne fruit at all in this game. If anything, it's been counterproductive compared to what they did the first time. They will try now to make a smoke move mid and see if they can take out Mobe here by using literally everything on him, and they gave up on it. Yeah, they are looking now for Tiny, who they're also not going to find. No bueno.
What hero was available, do you think? What hero would have helped them the most? Like, was Necro available? Something that's like percentage-based damage.
He would have been really good if he was in the pool, actually. I think he could have been a strong pick this game, yeah. Especially in mid. Necro with a lot of levels here could have been strong. I don't remember the entire draft by heart, but definitely don't feel like the Legion Commander Earth Spirit response or solution to what Ivy threw at him in Game 1 was the right analysis of what went wrong in that game. They did make some ban adaptations by taking out the Medusa, but not the Timber, which I personally feel like was actually a bigger problem for them than the Medusa was in the first game.
We'll be going for the Aghanim Scepter again on the Timber Saw, as the items just keep on rolling. Spear misses.
Stings, don't it?
But this is going to finally be the tier 2 tower. He's getting pressured bot. It forces out TPs for Ivy, and there's the duel. Do they have enough? Not even remotely close. Mars and company just completely surround him. Nice arena onto 2. That means this is cleanup crew for Ivy yet again.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I guess
Skill's going to try to soul. He can soul. His Shatterblade's running out. Silver was just out, but he's not currently in a ward, so he can try again on this next wave.
Yeah.
Nature's Prophet seems to be sniffing it out, though.
Yeah, he sniffed something.
Oh, the Sprout's there. That's a giveaway.
Oh, look at that. That's quite the reaction.
Damn.
You could tell he really jostled himself there. Banking. All right, Pasta looks to be fine. Has the haste rune. Yeah, this lead is looking to be insurmountable. The next Roshan.
Oh,
Okay. That's a less of a reaction for that.
I mean, how exhilarating is it really to slam dunk on someone like that? It's like you beat someone at basketball who's like never played before, and you're.
That feels great.
Yeah. Okay. That's your
If
perspective.
I was playing against you, that would feel great. Just stuff it in your face. Why not?
Okay.
I mean, when you play noobs in Dota, you don't like it, Cinderin? I love it.
Are you saying the Grim is a noob?
I'm just saying, that's the analogy you're making. Like the basketball analogy.
Yeah, kinda.
Oh, Reality pops the BKB, and will TP away. All right, the roll in, and the bounce out. But the self-heal for Enchantress is going to be a lot to go through there. All right, duel, but here comes the Arena with the spear. They do find the kill. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, but at what cost? Kachal looks to be donezo. Grimstroke is next.
I will admit, one-shotting heroes is really fun, okay? I
Thanks,
get it.
Cinderin.
But
You tried to bait me.
it is pretty fun to one-shot heroes like that. And now it's time to hit the tower as Tiny, which will put a smile on any carry player's face. It's such a good time.
But, oh, yeah.
He is, okay.
Oh, all right. Delaying the hits. Now he's happy because Echo Saber's up.
All right,
Very
that's the
delayed.
tower.
Yeah, look at that face.
Okay.
He's very happy with himself. He's actually going to be going for Blink Dagger. That's actually a little surprising. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I think he could have gone for just flat out just raw damage stats and just gone and hit towers, but
You know,
yeah, I wonder
incidentally,
what
this
the
would have been
mindset is.
another good butterfly game, actually,
Yeah.
even if it is a tiny.
yeah, it could have been decent on Tiny this game. That's true. Or AC. Right. Would have been completely fine. I wonder what the dagger is for. Maybe he just wants a secondary way of catching Nature's Prophet around the map because he feels like that's the only thing that's going to delay the game. Is that Furin? Or he could obviously turn this dagger into an upgraded Blink.
Yeah.
I wonder what you would buy on Tiny here if you would take Overwhelming or if you would take the Swift Blink still.
This is going to be the Timbersaw Shard in all likelihood for
Probably
more building
Overwhelming.
damage. And the Aegis for Mr. Tony.
Yeah. It's time to hit that high ground. Not sure if they're aware just how far ahead they are, but they've got to have a pretty damn good feeling that they're in a significant lead at least. But yeah, this is an absurd amount of advantage. Tiny can... In reality, Tiny can go and hit a tier 3 tower, and as long as Phoenix is behind with Sunray in a good position, it's almost inevitably going to lead
Phasma
to a
is
tower down.
donezo.
Radiant's bottom
And they can likely just group up. Tiny's still looking for a kill on the sideline here.
Same thing.
Astel.
Oh, same again as before, basically. Oh,
Wrong,
whoa,
wrong
okay.
person. Good attempt, though. Production. Next time, just show a tomato and we'll laugh, and then it'll look like it's well executed. Don't worry about it. There you go, see?
Yay.
Perfect.
Cutting waves mid on Legion Commander.
Those googly eyes get me
How
every
can
time.
that rock look concerned when it doesn't even have a mouth?
Oh, that's why it's concerned, because it doesn't have a mouth.
Uh-oh.
Mars, oh, Mars almost done with his refresher, his reality. Yeah, it's going to be hard to TP out of this, but okay, they're going to try to kill Mars with that blink.
They'll
There's
get
the
him.
epicenter. They will find it. Another dual victory. And reality, just going to get chopped down. Wow, that crit from low skill was definitely not low skill.
I mean, it wasn't really skill.
Exactly. Well, that technically means the same. Was not low skill. Crit.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, here we go. Here we go again.
Up 1 and 2. And toss and BKB.
Didn't find the angle he was hoping for.
Yeah, trying to block him out. Looks like
Oh, if this
zigzag
crit...
would be
Oh, it
fine.
didn't. It wasn't on the Earth Spirit. Oh, it also can't crit. Obviously.
Can he not disjoint that? I know the roll doesn't disjoint, but the tree, is that disjointable?
Yeah, it's disjointable. Oh, I think. Wait, actually, now you're making me doubt myself.
Oh, I asked the tough questions. As Ivy with a 23,000
Tiny
net
with
worth lead.
950 damage. 1, 2,
Yep.
3, 4, 5, 6,
and
7. 1, 2.
This is the counting game. You want to?
Why is he backing?
Why don't you count in
Smack
Farsi,
it.
Cinder? I can
Smack
teach
it,
you
dude.
that
Use
at
your DD.
least.
Get him. Get him.
Oh my god, it's just too much. This Tiny with double damage. Disgusting to see.
Absolutely filthy. Oh, 1500 crit.
Oh,
Yeah.
and he got the Elven Tunic. Nice.
Yeah. Zoom is dead.
Yep. The application. That's the tree toss, I'm guessing. Mr. Bob Ross himself making an appearance. Appreciate that. So Aegis for another minute 40. And, I mean, they still have full racks here. I mean, it's still kind of the same issue for Winter, but I just don't know. Like, their setup with duel, they can kill Mars. We've seen that. That's about it. Enchantress as well, but typically there's going to be somebody from Ivy nearby. As Assassination on the Timber, as working on the buildings now. You can see the shard from Timbersaw. It's burning everything to the ground. There's the toss back. Oh my god, they don't even exist. Jesus. The googly eyes. This will be a double set of racks. 60 seconds to no Sand Kings. I don't even think there's way defending anymore. Not that there was before, but without Sand King, definitely not.
How did this hero get last picked?
Yeah, it's a perplexing question. Back with the toss. BKB forced. And Kachal. All right, they have the Sprout. But there's the arena onto 3 heroes. And that should spell the end for Winter Bear in this game number 2.
Game Ogre.
There's no Ogre.
Game Ogre.
Enchantress could pick up the Ogre and punch people with it, though. Very important. All right, going back into the fountain. And GG should be called now. And that'll do it. Ivy take this 2-0. Game 1, Game 2, very different stories. Game 2 was a Gaben-level shellacking, if I do say so myself.
Yep.
Game 1, I guess the biggest question mark is the whole draft just looks so similar, but they still had the same problems, right? They couldn't kill Timbersaw, and Tiny just looked... I mean, Tiny gets online way faster than Medusa even, but they couldn't kill either of them.
Yeah, it's kind of... This is one of those things that happens. Like, it's not uncommon